All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Friday, August 29th. This is episode 952 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. As always, I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, hold on. We can't have this lower third here. What are we doing here? Let's get rid of that. All right. Over the next hour, you, Code Brew up in the upstate, Mar Levy, Rick Kelly in the Midlands, Triple D, Mike NY. We got Space Tacos in the GRC Mafia. We got Marcus Kyler in the Yeet Crew. We got Phil Stafford, Nelly and Matisse in the San Francisco Sound Machine. Wading through logs, Wade Wells, detection engineer of San Diego prominence. We are all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be doing everything within my power to go beyond those headlines to mine out value from you on those stories, looking at macro level pictures, things that you may not learn in a classroom or a textbook, and you just have to talk to someone who's basically been in the trenches and knows the reality of what is actually going to happen. And that's all the value that we're trying to bring here. This is a supportive, inclusive, and empowering community at your disposal. If you want to be part of it, welcome to the party, pal. There is no prerequisites except an interest in wanting to be here. We do it every single weekday morning, and today's Friday, thank God, going into a 3-day weekend for many of us. Richard Duff, oi, 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 g'day, mate. Coffee cup cheers to you. Guys, we got a great show for you. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and on Fridays is James O'Quiggin at 35,000 feet, dad jokes of the week. James has got those sent over to me, so we're locked and loaded for some rib ticklers and some just really enjoy getting into the weekend. We got some great stories for you as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed the new graphics package that we've rolled out this week. I think it's been pretty smooth, super exciting. I will tell you, I got a couple questions. I got a great story for the community. I will save it for the mid-roll about my Uber ride yesterday. That was an amazing experience, quite exceeding my expectations. And also need to solicit you, Simply Cyber community. I need your thoughts and input. I have a unique situation that cropped up yesterday, and I want to crowdsource the solution. And I know this community is absolutely nails at doing that. So we're going to get into it now. Before we dive into it, if today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hi, John. Drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Let us know it's your first time, and we will welcome you properly. Which usually I try to be mysterious about it, but listen, we've got a John McClane emote from Die Hard fame. We have a sound effect. We love welcoming first-timers. Many of the people in chat right now have been here a very long time. If you see a person's name that's green with a blue badge, they have been here a very long time and are part of the community. Love it. Good morning. We got Jenny Housley online in chat right now. Good to see you, Jenny. Every single episode is brought to you by stream sponsors. I want to say thank you to Barricade, Anti-Siphon, Threat Locker, and Flare Academy. Let's spend a minute talking about them, guys. Hold on. Flare Academy is bringing amazing 2-hour free senior practitioner talks to the community. Go to simplycyber.io/flare right now, and you'll get taken directly to, wait for it, a 2-hour talk on September 23rd that I'm excited to attend on Russian cyber criminal forum ecosystems. They literally have people who have been up in them, like roll the sleeves up, put on your muck boots, and get into a cyber criminal ecosystem. This is shady stuff, dark web stuff. It's things that I personally don't want to personally get into. But dude, this is something you absolutely won't read about or hear about in a classroom. And the only way to get it is from people who are on the front lines. Go to simplycyber.io/flare, register, 2-hour webinar. You could talk to the instructor afterwards too. I think this is one of those rare opportunities where you're going to be able to get insights on a topic that's just not really widely shared and widely discussed. Also want to say shout out and love to Fortified 365 over at Barricade. If you're running a Microsoft 365 instance and you haven't configured it properly, what are you doing, bro? Like literally, you're taking on risk that's absolutely unnecessary. Go to fortify365.com right now and you can see what's going on. This is really a great investment in your business. Essentially, this is left of boom. This is where GRC operates. This is putting in protection controls and configuring your environment using the controls that you're literally already paying for. It's so ridiculous that you would pay for security and then not properly configure or implement it. But guess what? People do it all the time. Don't be a statistic. Don't be that guy, right? Go to fortified365.com today and get sorted out. I want you to know that every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, where David P., Dennis Keefe, Anthony S., Hooey Booey, Mad Destroyer, Low Country Zone, Mad Destroyer, is worth half a CPE. So say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot, file it away. It's a half CPE every day. If you show up on the regular, that's 120 CPEs a year, which is excessively more than any cert is going to require. The screenshot is in case they audit you. You were here. That's the evidence. I'm telling you, listen, I've been in the industry 20 years. I'm telling you definitively, this is one of the top 3 ways to get CPEs. Going to like a conference and walking around and going to talks is another great way. But this right here, dude, I'm in the palm of your hand right now, bro. I'm coming to you live from your kitchen while you're getting ready in the morning. Your kids and your spouse are in the car with you right now, driving to school in car line, and you're like, dude, this guy every morning with the sound effects. Ain't nobody got time for that. Come on, get those CPEs. Hey, squad members, we're about to dig into the news, but I got to tell you, we got some first-timers in chat. If you are a squad member, go ahead and open that emote tray. Go ahead and get John McClane on deck. Doink, 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 doink. I got John McClane for days. Want to say welcome to the party, pal, to George Nyarko and to Maestro. Hey, Maestro. Hey, George. Boom. Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. All right, dude. Love myself some first timers. I hope you guys have a great time, George and Maestro. As always, I hope the standard regular Simply Cyber community members have a great time. Let's get into it. Do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us on an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll.
Security headlines for Friday.
All right. Yeah.
August 29th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Malicious NX packages leak GitHub, cloud, and AI credentials. A warning from the maintainers of the NX build system of a supply chain attack that allowed threat actors to, quote, publish malicious versions of the popular NPM package and other auxiliary plugins with data gathering capabilities, end quote. Specifically, the packages containing the name Singularity with a digit 1 representing the first I in Singularity contain code that could, quote, scan the file system, collect credentials, and post them to GitHub as a repo under the user's accounts, end quote. This was announced by the maintainers in an advisory published on Wednesday. According to researchers at Wiz, 2,349 distinct credentials were leaked, quote, most of them for GitHub OAuth keys and personal access tokens, followed by API keys and credentials for Google AI, OpenAI, Amazon Web Services, OpenRouter, Anthropic Claude, and Datadog.
All right. So this is interesting. Supply chain attack. We've seen compromised code repositories, left, right, and center, NPM packages, PyPy, GitHub. This is kind of, in my opinion, this is actually kind of an easy one to get sorted out. This Singularity package, S1 NGULARTY. This is basically like leet speak or hacker, spelling. You're not going to find like legitimate packages with this term Singularity with the 1. So the cool thing is, thank you, threat actor, for making it easy to uniquely identify these packages in our environment versus naming it like whatever, con host or services or something, you know what I mean? Something that's like really going to cause a muck and be obfuscated with other packages. Now, what do you do about this? Wiz, thank you, Wiz. Stacy Loki's own Wiz. Thank you for letting us know that 2,300 of these credentials were compromised. Now, if you are using CI/CD pipelines, if you are, even an individual or researcher, it doesn't have to be a tech company, you could have these kind of solutions in place for different reasons, right? The key thing is either making developers aware of this singularity package. I don't quite know how you would look for this in your environment. It's not necessarily a listening service or traffic where you could necessarily look for it. If you wanted to, you could dig into this story a bit more, go deeper, and see if this singularity thing, because it's leaking credentials, that would indicate to me that it's transmitting those credentials to the threat actor, which now would introduce network traffic, which wherever the threat actor is getting those creds sent to, if you know that, you could use that server name or IP address as an indicator and go look for it in your environment. You can go thrunting with Wade Wells. That's just one thing. I will say personally, as I heard it, this to me seems less of a problem for businesses. I'm sure of the 2,300, some businesses are likely in here, but the way that the story explained it, they mentioned like personal tokens, personal creds. I personally have, I pay for Anthropic and I have an API token that I use for, nerd things, right? So that's me, not really a business. So, and I have it kind of price constrained. So it's not really worth much to a threat actor. I think what's going to end up happening here is you could run into a chance where a threat actor who's doing this and getting these tokens and API keys is going to use them basically the way that like crypto miners work. They're using your tokens so they can run commands and do processing on AI without having to pay for it. Again, this could affect individuals. So if you are an individual, the good thing you're here, if you're an individual who's doing these type of things, maybe you're working on like a SaaS product on the side as like a side hustle. Maybe you and a couple buddies are trying to like, play with AI and get into it. That's like why I have a Claude token, is like I'm playing with AI. Just be mindful of this, because basically the last thing you want, you don't want your code repository to get compromised, right? They might be able to use this to pull down your code. Again, I think that's more of a spurious scenario. I think the real risk here is somebody kind of abusing your tokens so that they can run processing on AI and not pay for it. Thrunting, DJ BSEC. See, DJ BSEC has been out of the loop for a minute because he's been wicked busy. But thrunting is not really a word. It is threat hunting. It's just Wade Wells cringes when he hears thrunting. So like I like to rub his nose in it a bit. DJ BSEC does chime in about this particular story and says that this could affect companies that have their code in GitHub and have a full Claude subscription. That's what he would be looking for. Right. Yeah. Like the $200 a month account. Yeah. 100%. This is what I think is going to happen. I think this is more about abusing it so threat actors can take advantage of your account. To me, it's like way less of a like massive campaign to like compromise your entire environment.
North Korean remote worker scheme boosted by generative AI. The U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control has announced new sanctions against 2 individuals and 2 entities, quote, for their role in the North Korean remote information technology worker scheme, end quote, in which overseas IT workers embed malware, steal data and credentials, and demand ransoms. A report published Wednesday from Anthropic shows how this operation uses generative AI-powered tools like Claude to create convincing professional backgrounds and technical portfolios, tailor resumes to specific job descriptions, and even deliver actual technical work, end quote. Further to this last point, Anthropic stated, quote, the most striking finding is the actor's complete dependency on AI to function in technical roles. They continue, these operators do not appear to be able to write code, debug problems, or even communicate professionally without Claude's assistance. Yet they're successfully maintaining employment at Fortune 500 companies, according to public reporting, passing technical interviews and delivering work that satisfies their employers. End quote.
All right. North Korea, dude, you guys are crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, like North Korea's got like a functional like nuclear missile base now. It's like at least this is the reporting I've seen. It's like right next to China. And part of the argument is that like it's so close to China, it's not to threaten China. It's more so like the United States wouldn't want to accidentally slap China. Crazy. Guys, the way that they're allegedly the way that they're funding kind of this weapons program in North Korea is through these efforts. Like basically Kim Jong-un is like not convinced, but like he's got tons of North Koreans working and taking it's like a feudal system, and the North Korean IT workers are serfs, and they're taking their paycheck and giving it up to the Lord Supreme Commander or whatever he calls himself. It's real money. Dude, I am like beyond myself. Like I see so many people in our community struggling, even in like the macro level, struggling to get a job. And yet somehow North Korea, like there are multiple people employed in Fortune 500 companies, and they're unable to speak. They're unable to interact. They're unable to do anything without the use of AI. Like this is such a big, like issue. Like, yes, the North Korean IT workers is an issue, clearly. But like, my thing is like, how is it that they're getting jobs? And like, people in the community who are clearly qualified are having a tough time getting a job. And I know it's because they're lying in the interviews and stuff like that. I did see, honestly, guys, like I don't ever want to return to the office. I work from home. Of course, like I'm my own boss now, but like I work from home and I never want to go back to the office. And I know some businesses are pushing for return to office, and there was never really a good reason. It usually felt like it was like, tech oligarchs and like people like the 1%ers trying to like manipulate situations for like money reasons. This could be a legit reason why return to office happens. I saw yesterday, I think it's Uber CEO is requiring job applicants to physically come in for job interviews now. Like you are not allowed to do remote interviews to work at Uber. I believe it was Uber. Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can see here. The story actually talks about illicit revenue for the regime's mass destruction ballistic missiles program. I've seen numerous examples of these North Korean interviews. They always have an explanation why they can't come in. Okay. DJ BSEC is also saying that part of it is that in some instances, they're actually having other people do the interviews and then giving them the access. I mean, that's even like another level of basically. Can you imagine getting paid just to go do job interviews and get jobs? All right. I guess here's the thing. This is one of those really interesting kind of new, I would call this like a new paradigm where insider threat has always been an issue in our industry. Insider threat clearly falls with us. However, this is an HR owned issue. All right. Just like patching is owned by IT, but we care about it. This is an HR issue, and the interviewing process and the way that verification and validation of staff is done needs to be cleared. And then honestly, like ongoing operations, yes, they have these like laptop farms that, people some woman in Tennessee just got arrested recently. She had like, 30 laptops running. They were just VPN'd in from North Korea. Like, it's not an easy problem to solve, but there are lots of red flags. Be mindful of them. Introduce them to your, like, what I would do, right? Like, my business isn't large enough to have an HR department. Like, that's also me. But I would schedule time with HR. Like, I'm a huge fan. Okay, let me just tell you guys. I'm a huge fan of scheduling, not scheduling, but like every department's going to have like either weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings or monthly meetings. Like any department that doesn't have recurring meetings is stupid, right? Like
you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
That's broke. It's broken. If the HR department doesn't meet with some regularity, that's broken, right? So whenever they meet, ask the head of HR or whoever owns that meeting and say, hey, listen, can I come to your meeting once a month? Like, don't like oversell yourself. Just be like, can I come once a month and talk to your team for the first 5 minutes and then I'll leave? You're adding value. You're collaborating. You're putting a face and a persona to the information security office, which pays dividends because if anyone in that meeting has a problem, they're going to feel more comfortable reaching out to you. And it's targeted knowledge. So you go talk to the HR people about this North Korea IT worker issue. Don't make it about the crypto scams. Don't make it about ballistic missile programs. Just make it about fraudulent hires, the risk of what it's doing. Because again, let's talk money, guys. Okay, the business always cares about money. Yes, I don't want a North Korean working illegally at my business and potentially putting me at risk of sanctions, of regulatory penalties, of everything. Make it about money. You could do the regulatory penalties. If you feel like your business is going to be like, oh, come on, bro. Do you really think like a textile company in Spartanburg, South Carolina is really going to have, DHS and FBI come down on us because we hired a North Korean by accident? No. All right, well, then let's put it this way. How much does it cost to do all the interviewing, find the candidate, hire them, get them onboarded, and then find out that you've got to stop, fire them, and reset the whole process? We're talking months and months and months of lost performance because we've got to start the process over of finding and hiring someone. People don't really think about that, but this is why it's always easier to just give someone an extra like 5% salary or let them take half days on Fridays or whatever and make them happy instead of being a hard ass and firing them or telling them to go find a job that does what you want, Gen Z. And then you've got to go through this whole process of finding talent and hiring talent. It's so penny wise, pound foolish when people make these choices. Anyways, that's what I would do. I've had massive success meeting with individual departments at their weekly meeting. I recommend you do it too.
The Netherlands announces Salt Typhoon penetration. The Ministry of Defense of the Netherlands announced yesterday that it has been targeted by a Chinese cyber espionage campaign tracked as Salt Typhoon and Red Mike. The attacks were not large scale as compared to other countries, but focused on smaller internet service and hosting providers. Dutch investigators said that, quote, the Chinese hacking organization had access to routers belonging to the Dutch targets, end quote. CISA helps Nevada.
All right. I like, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with the top stories graphic thing. I thought it was particularly funny saying Salt Typhoon goes Dutch, right? Not to be confused with Dutch ovens, which I had to define for my 10-year-old the other day, which was a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't like a good Dutch oven? Am I right? I'm joking. Dutch ovens are disgusting. And if you don't know what they are, consider yourself lucky. All right. So dude, China Salt Typhoon, this is turning into Beauty and the Beast. A story as old as time, a tale as old as rhyme, whatever it is. China's going whole hog. They must have like an incentive program for like every national telecommunications company you breach, you get like another like check on your card, and at the end of the month, whoever has the most checks gets like a free trip to like I don't know, like a $250 Amazon gift card or something, or you get the cool parking spot out front, like whatever it is. But like they're going whole hog. Stop. Why is there actually a meme? Why is there a meme for that? So Dutch, the Netherlands, remember the Netherlands, I can't even look at that. The Netherlands, remember, are friends with the US, and let me just tell you why they're definitely on the radar. Netherlands, Japan, China, US, chips. Okay. This is why. US wants Netherlands, wants the Netherlands to restrict chip making. Okay, US wants it. That was June 2024. Fast forward, June 2023. Boom! Tough actin', tinactin'. Japan and Netherlands. Hold on. Chip exports to China. Incomplete alignment has allowed Beijing to backfill. So there's like a whole thing going on. It looks like Netherlands is pushing stuff, but they're like in the middle, getting kind of stretched either which way. So, they're in the muck. They're in the like, how like the Tasmanian devil. This is like the weirdest analogy, but like, how like when there's like a cartoon and like the like cats are fighting and there's like this like big whirling dervish type thing, and it goes by and then like people get sucked into it. Like US and China, it's like a whirling dervish of like, global supply chain decoupling and access to technology and semiconductor technology and, processing chips and stuff. And then like Japan and Netherlands get like sucked into it. Like Taiwan's getting sucked into it. It's like crazy. That's what's happening here. So I'm not surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Japan telecommunications get slapped around a bit really quick too. Actually, I'm just curious. Ready? Japan, Salt Typhoon, hack. Yeah, I guess Salt Typhoon hacks 80 countries. I'm not going to do the work right now, but I assume this is from 2 days ago. I assume that this is Japan's one of those countries. So yeah, this is what's up. As far as me and you go, day in, day out, no matter where you work or what you're doing, this is not necessarily going to impact you directly. This is like your parents fighting at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Like you're just like, we're not children, but like the analogy is kind of like, it's like the big dogs are like doing things. Like for me and you, like if we're protecting a publishing company in Augusta, Georgia, if we're protecting an energy company in Houston, Texas, like this is kind of on our radar, but it's much more of just being aware of kind of the threat landscape and less about taking action today.
Back in the game. Following up on a story we covered on Wednesday, CISA has announced that it has been working with the FBI and other agencies to help get the state of Nevada back online while, quote, investigating the origins of the attack and rebuilding systems, end quote. The state asked CISA to send its threat hunting teams to, quote, assist in mitigating any ongoing threats and identify the full scope of the incident, end quote. The agency said it also helped Nevada access incident response grants offered by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. There is no further update as to whether this was a ransomware attack or who was responsible.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're keeping it close to the vest because like a ransomware attack is pretty obvious, right? Like, and by the way, you might think like, oh, they're keeping it close to the vest and not going to report. Guys, it's like trying to control a conspiracy. Like tons of people who like are, I mean this just objectively, like tons of like normal people just living their day who work for the state of Nevada aren't able to go to work. So they're going to complain and bitch and moan to their family or to their coworkers or to their friends on like why it is, right? So like you might send out a memo saying, hey, everybody who works here, don't talk about this issue publicly. But, dude, humans are humans. They talk like, oh, hey, I'm just going to tell you this, but don't say anything. And then, it gets out, right? So I feel like if it was ransomware, it would be more obvious. If I had money, since it's Nevada, right? Las Vegas, baby.
Straight cash, homie.
I would bet money. I would put $100 down on the table and bet on ransomware, right? Like if it was a roulette table and ransomware was black, I'd be like, I'm betting on black. So the fact that the whole thing's down, like unless it was a wiper virus, which is that's precedent has been set, but not really common attack. They also mentioned that CISA's on the ground doing threat hunting. Wade thrunting, just so you don't get confused there. So if they're doing threat hunting, clearly they're looking for evidence to get attribution and figure out how bad this infection is. The fact that everything's down, though, I would imagine they're just going to rebuild. And the reason they're doing threat hunting is likely for making sure that they've fully contained the issue. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes you'll clean up a mess and you won't actually remove the threat actor from the environment, and then they'll punch you in the neck again, and you're just like, bro, you're killing me, Smalls. Yeah, that's right. I got to tell you, Passenger 57, kind of a low-key hidden gem from the 90s. Wesley Snipes has that line, always bet in black. It's like one of the OG action movies that takes place on a plane. Also hilarious. Well, whatever. I won't bother you. There's like a ridiculous scene in the beginning of that movie that I love. If we can get to that, I'll show you guys. It's so silly, but yeah. Again, here's one thing I will tell you. If you are a large enough organization or a state entity, like say you represent Charleston County or you represent the state of Florida or whatever, you do have access to federal resources for incident response, right? The state, for example, the state of South Carolina has one of 5 National Guard units that are basically cyber battalions that can be deployed. Now, I don't think that National Guard cyber state of South Carolina cyber battalion can be deployed into Georgia or not. But my point is, did you know that? There's 4 other states. I don't know what they are. So don't not take advantage of resources when you get slapped in the mouth, okay? It takes a village. Guys, I'm telling you, like, doing it alone is not what you want to do. Oh, yeah, dude, Wesley Snipes, I don't know what happened to him. He was like, I loved him as an action star. Look at this. Yeah, this is the scene right. Oh, my God. Why can't I do this? I try to do the share screen thing, and it always, like, wants me to download it. Hold on one second. We're doing this because it's Friday. Bet on black. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my God. Get out of here. Stupid pop-ups. Yeah. Look at this. Oh, we got multiple options. There he is. And for you youngs who don't know Wesley Snipes, there's an entire catalog of awesome movies out there. Go watch Blade 1. Woo. Yeah, man. I would skip Demolition Man. Don't do that one.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Profit Security. Security teams are drowning in alerts. Many companies generate upwards of 1,000 or more alerts a day, and nearly half go ignored. That's where Profit Security comes in. Their AI SOC platform automatically triages and investigates alerts so your team can focus on real threats instead of busy work. Faster response, less burnout, and lower risk to your business. Learn more at profitsecurity.ai. That is PROPHET security.ai.
All right. Hey, let's play the Threat Locker ad read. I meant to do that earlier, and I don't think I talked about anti-siphon, so let's do those. And then I'm going to melt your face with Simple Minds. Let's go. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right. A lot of people, there's a lot of love here for Demolition Man. I mean, like low-key, like a community divided. All right. Hey, really quickly, let's do this. All right. Hey, holla, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We are at the mid-roll. Stay tuned because we have the panel Jawjacking coming up at the top of the hour, as well as at 9:30. This guy, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, dropping Simply Secured, final episode of season 1, talking with Fleetus Poston, who many of you know from our community. I have loved Simply Secured podcast. I love where it's going. The first season was amazing. So many Simply Cyber community members featured. James does a wonderful job with the production of this show. We'll go check that out together. I want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, Barricade with their Fortified 365, Threat Locker, Flare Academy, and Anti-Siphon. Guys, if you went to Blue Team Summit on Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday, I hope you enjoyed the living crap out of it. So many people, Fleetus Poston, Becky Gaylord, Devin McCarthy, like so many Simply Cyber community members speaking, being in the chat. I mean, honestly, guys, I know it was an Anti-Siphon production, but I feel like Team SC kind of like ran the show there. So, holla. Kathy Chambers was featured. I want you guys to know, as far as Anti-Siphon training goes, go to their website at antisyphontraining.com, click on course calendar, and you can look at what they have coming up. I want your attention drawn to August is pretty much done. So let's look at September. Let's see what they got in September. Oh my God. Okay, so check this out. September 23rd. Now, this is not a free training, but Breaching the Cloud with Bo Bullock. Let me tell you right now, this guy is exceptional. When I talk about really good professionals, like, let's be real, different professionals have different skill levels and stuff, and some of us in the community are exceptional. Bo Bullock is one such individual who is exceptional. This guy is an amazing penetration tester. He also developed tools. He's very, very, very good at hacking Azure. And this class, I know people who have taken this class. It's exceptional. I would recommend you check it out. Again, this is one of those ones you want to get your employer to pay for, or you invest in yourself. But the lessons you will learn in this, I promise you, $575 is actually kind of a steal for what you get from him in this 16-hour course. Bo Bullock, Breaching the Cloud. Oh my God, if you get a chance to meet him, he's really, really good. Here's a link to it. Every single day of the week has a different segment, and let me get chat on screen there. Every single day of the week has a different segment, and Fridays is James McQuigg and James Joke of the Week. Here we go. Now, James is on a cruise ship right now, so he's got cruise themes. Why did the boat become a party boat? Why did the boat, oh my God. Why did the boat become a party boat? Escol07, I'm looking at you. Why did the boat become a party boat? Because it succumbed to peer pressure. Oh my God. Why hasn't James at 35,000 feet been able to play cards on the cruise ship casino? How is it that James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet cannot play cards on the cruise ship casino? Well, James let me know, and he wants you to know that too many people are standing on the deck. Too many people are standing on the deck. And finally, why is it hard? Why is it hard to learn Spanish while on a cruise ship? You get lost at sea. You get lost at sea. This is your James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back, relax, and let the la-la-la-las wash over you. Alpha Sierra, lead us off. Go, go, go. All right, so good. Let's finish strong, everybody. I want to tell you about my Uber driver tomorrow.
TransUnion announces data breach. Consumer credit reporting company TransUnion has announced that it, quote, suffered a data breach exposing the personal information of over 4.4 million people in the United States, end quote. It is one of the three major credit bureaus in the United States, alongside Equifax and Experian, quote, collecting and maintaining credit information on over 1 billion consumers worldwide, with approximately 200 million of those based in the U.S., end quote. The breach occurred on July 28th and was discovered 2 days later. The company states the incident, quote, involved a third-party application serving the company's consumer support operations, end quote. Data stolen was, in the company's words, limited and did not include credit reports or core credit information. Healthcare.
Yes, James McQuiggan is at sea level. That's funny. Okay, guys. Salesforce. This is another Salesforce data breach. Again, like, I know supply chain is boring. I know data governance is boring. But you know what? I mean, like, cool hack, bro. Like, really cool hack, bro. It's great that you like popped a WordPress server, but like, we're kind of dealing with supply chain issues and data governance because we're trying to stop multi-billion-dollar companies from having cybersecurity incidents. I'm sorry, GRC's boring, but we do really important things. TransUnion, one of the 3 major credit agencies in the United States, the people who are basically involved in deciding whether or not you can buy a house, buy a car, get a credit card, where you stand socioeconomically, the ones who have their boot on the throat of a lot of people and preventing them from like leveling up and changing their life. They got breached. Now, they said the data was limited, so I think this is more sizzle and less filling. No. This is more filler, no killer, right? Oh, no. Actually, okay, hold on. I'm sorry. This is a lot of sizzle, no steak. Okay, that comes from an old CIO who was like a good old boy I knew. A lot of sizzle, no steak on this one. The data was limited. It was the Salesforce data. Yes, it's TransUnion, but like, it doesn't sound like this data is going to result in you having like a credit card open in your name or your like secret PIN to unfreeze your account exposed, right? So I think that this is more salacious because who they are. In all reality, guys, I know you Gen Z people probably hadn't really thought about this, but like Equifax got hit like 10 years ago. And if you're over the age of like 30, you're cooked. Like the Equifax breach basically exposed everything. If you work for the US government at any point, your SF-86 was data breached. You're cooked, right? So like this, like I hate to be apathetic and just like, all right, but like this breach, like I don't even like get out of bed for this breach. Like I roll over, look at this and hit snooze. It is a big deal. 4 million people's limited data. There's going to be, dude, get ready. I hope you have a strong mailbox because you're going to be getting a lot of identity theft protection and your data was involved in a breach and privacy is really important to us. Letters coming very soon from all these different entities who suffered the Salesforce breach. It is what it is. As a side note, I would strongly recommend, this is unrelated to the story, but strongly recommend if you haven't already done it, contacting Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion and doing something called freezing your credit. You can freeze your credit, which basically means it puts a lock on your credit and no one can access it without a special PIN. And I mean, I don't know about you, but like, I'm not buying cars or buying houses regularly. I know I give the illusion that I'm this, cosmopolitan, driving with the top down in the Benz, throwing hundreds out, screaming money ain't a thing. But in all reality, I'm not. So like having my credit frozen isn't super impactful for me personally. And whenever you do need it, you can thaw it out for like 10 days or however long, so you can get like a credit pull done and stuff like that. So, but the good news is a threat actor cannot it's way harder for a threat actor to commit identity theft or steal things.
Services Group announces 2024 breach. This U.S.-based company that provides housekeeping, laundry, dining, and nutritional services to healthcare facilities, primarily nursing homes, assisted living centers, and hospitals, has stated in a filing to the Maine Attorney General's office that the breach affects more than 620,000 people and occurred between September 27th and October 3rd of last year. Data stolen includes social security numbers, driver's license numbers, state identification numbers, financial account information, and full access credentials. No further details about the attack have been disclosed.
All right. Guys, you guys are the best. This community is amazing. Zemif, I don't even know how to read that. Bro, you took an Uber yesterday. Is an Uber a sign of wealth? Is that when someone drive you because your car's broke and you can't get it fixed? A sign of wealth? I don't know. Oh my God. I do not fly first class to change the forecast. Whatever. I want to get to Jawjacking and holler and get slide into the weekend, guys. 3-day weekend. I want to do some grilling. This story, if anything, I'm kind of irritated by this story. 600,000 people's data breach. So me and you and Chuck Sapp's data breached from last year. Guys, we're almost in Q4 of 2025. You think I care about a 2024 breach? Get in line, dude. All right. Housekeeping, laundry, dining, whatever. What do they do here? All right. So a threat actor hacked them, and they detected it quickly and cleared it out. You know, the crappy thing is here, dude, this story says they quickly took steps to secure the systems and began an investigation in October of 2024. Now it's August. I call absolute shenanigans, right? I really want to scream bull S, but because of for the children, I won't. But this is complete poppycock. No company quickly detects. No, listen to me. Okay, now for no reason, I'm going to get outraged here. No company has the ability to quickly detect, contain, and then begin investigation quickly unless they have a decent information security program. You're not flying by the seat of your pants and being able to respond this quickly. So if you have that level of capability to control and respond that quickly, it's complete crap that it takes you 8 months or 10 months to figure out what the breach is. All day long, this is general counsel. This is the executive team at this company dragging their feet on the investigation with, I don't know what their long-term strategy was, but I would imagine it's to distance themselves between having a breach and having to disclose the impact from that breach and making the fallout from that more leveled and balanced. Dude, you don't respond quick and then not be able to figure out what the problem is. Again, this is me and you and I's data, so whatever. But they have socials, driver's license numbers, state IDs, financial account information, full access credentials. Full access creds. Okay, that's to me I don't want you to have my social and my driver's license and all that crap, but guess what? I'm desensitized because everybody's got it at this point. But full access creds, now you have my attention. You better have multi-factor authentication. You better have multi-factor authentication, okay? Hey, Elliot Matisse, impacted individuals get 12 months of free Experian credit monitoring. Ooh. We're living the high life, baby. Somebody roll out the banquet beers and get your smoking jackets on. We're living the high life with 12 months of free Experian credit monitoring. I'll just add it to the list of credit monitoring I've got going. It's just, I don't know, man. Whatever. Day that ends in Y, your data has been compromised. This company absolutely will feel no financial impact, will not be held accountable. Probably, hold on. I don't know why I'm so outraged by this, but I am, so I'm kind of going with it. Let's look at their annual revenue. Healthcare Services Group reported an annual revenue of $1.7 billion in 2024, 1.6 in 2023, and their forecast for 1.81 in 2025. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Are you kidding me? This means nothing to them.
South Korea Telecom punished.
Allegedly, this is my opinion, not a fact. I don't work, whatever liability disclaimers I need.
For a security bungle. Following up on a story we covered in May, South Korea's SK Telecom has been fined the equivalent of $97 million after the country's privacy commission found that the mobile giant had, quote, left its network wide open to hackers through a catalog of bungles, end quote. The breach had been announced in April. Hackers had gained access to data belonging to the Universal Subscriber Identity Model, USIM, for almost 27 million subscribers. South Korea's Personal Information Protection Commission said that the country's biggest carrier, quote, did not even implement basic access controls between its internet-facing systems and internal management network, end quote. It added that SKT, quote, failed at almost every layer of defense, end quote. This includes dumping thousands of server credentials in plain text on a management network server. A more complete accounting of this incident is available as a link in the show notes to this episode.
All right, so two things. One, there will not be a show on Monday. There will not be a show on Monday. I'll repeat that later. There won't be a show on Monday. Number two, FedEx actually dropped a really great, FedEx drops good points all the time, but like FedEx dropped a good point. This company's offering you, sorry, I'm like really hung up on this. They're offering you 12 months of credit and monitoring, 8 months after your data's been breached, right? It's like offering you like, hey, you know what? Your complimentary fire extinguisher will arrive on Tuesday and like your house burnt down in February. It's like, bruh. All right, dude. Whatever. This South Korean telecom company gets slapped in the face with a fine for being negligent, gross negligence around their security controls. The one thing I want to point out, again, I love trying to give like insights and value to you guys that are beyond the headlines. One thing I want to point out, yes, this is a big story, and yes, they got hit and all that stuff. But one of the key gross negligence things that they had was they had basically a spreadsheet with thousands, if not millions, of credentials on a file server that was accessible to everybody. I have seen this firsthand. I do consulting as well. I do it less often recently, but like from 2016 to 2021, I did a lot of consulting. And you would go to these clients, like I was working with small, mid-sized businesses, mostly smaller businesses. And it's not unrealistic for them to have a file share with credentials on it because it makes it easy, right? Like whoever's at work that day, whenever they need to log into something, they just go grab the creds. And the idea is like, well, it's on a file share, so only employees are going to access it. And it's like, yes, I get it. That is a terrible practice, though, because one, you don't know who the hell is going to access it because it's like anyone can access it. That means anyone can log in with it, which means you have no accountability or repudiation on who did what. Secondly, if a hacker gets in there or a threat actor, they own all the accounts. Three, if someone is an insider threat and gets pissed off and wants to steal that, they're going to steal it because they have access. It's like, you would be stunned how many businesses have this. And honestly, it's just more legacy. Like they have it and they know they shouldn't have it, but then they don't fix it because it's a pain to fix it, et cetera, et cetera.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Chuck Zapp with a super chat. This is for Chips on Monday. Publix BOGOs. Have a great weekend. Oh my God. Yeah. Dude, I do love a Publix Italian sub with salt and vinegar chips. All right. So anyways, TLDR, if you work at a business and you know of a file share that has a huge password file, I'm telling you, that has to be a top priority on getting addressed. You can use a centralized password management solution. We've used Thycotic in the past. CyberArk might be an answer. I don't know if these individual password solutions like LastPass, 1Password, Bitwarden, they probably offer enterprise-grade solutions. Having a spreadsheet is not acceptable. Use this story as an example if you want to help drive that. But honestly, even an executive, even a CEO can wrap their head around how stupid it is to have a file with all the passwords in it. Because honestly, in 2025, everybody uses usernames and passwords. They know how to, they know what they are. You're not talking about like PKI certificates or something where they're going to get lost.
CrowdStrike makes acquisitions to boost autonomous threat detection capabilities. On Wednesday, CrowdStrike announced plans to acquire data pipeline management provider Onum, O-N-U-M. This, it says, forms, quote, part of its goal to enhance the Falcon next-gen SIM platform with autonomous detection capabilities, given that traditional SIMs cannot keep up with the large volume of data, end quote. CrowdStrike President Michael Santonis, announcing the acquisition in a blog post, says the move will help analysts who must currently sift through the noise manually, as well as security teams who must decide between options, such as shrinking data retention windows or leaving out certain data sources in order to reduce data storage costs.
All right. I attended a conference on Friday last week where CrowdStrike actually had a speaker. I will say this about them. I mean, CrowdStrike, I do know, they're a pretty good platform. I know people that use CrowdStrike that, they say good things about it. At the same time, there are, like any EDR solution, they do have problems. I will say that this guy said that CrowdStrike was not a security company. They were a data company. So I don't know if that's like a branding thing. I think of them as a security company. Also, this individual said multiple times during his talk, I know I'm not supposed to be up here trying to push CrowdStrike like a sales guy, but we are the best it's like anytime you start qualifying like that, you lose me as a attendee. Dude, they're investing money. Okay. Here's the deal. CrowdStrike is a preeminent EDR solution. They make tons and tons of money. Good for them. If you haven't been paying attention, and I've shared this multiple times, if you haven't been paying attention, there is a race to the top for these mega companies in the security space to acquire all of the tech stack solutions to be able to be a, one vertical stack to offer everything. So like, look at Cisco acquiring Splunk. Look at Palo Alto or Cisco acquiring Duo, Palo Alto acquiring CyberArk. Like it's not uncommon to see this kind of like amalgamation running because you want to be able to offer all the things, right? And CrowdStrike getting this next gen SIM thing, what they're trying to do is make their Falcon tool better, I suppose. That's all this is. This is buying capability. And honestly, now that I've been like running a business for a little while, it makes total sense. Like, here's the deal. You can either develop a capability in-house, which takes time, money, and effort, or you can acquire, which is a different time, money, and effort. But typically it's faster because you buy a known product. It has a customer base in place. It complements your entire tech stack. You do the integration. The only thing I would say for this community, Thomas Marquette, see ya. The only thing I would say for this community, yes, this is good. If in two things. One, if you use CrowdStrike, be aware that this is going to come. You probably won't see too much impact for about 6 months, 12 months. It'll be like integration. If you work at Onum, this company that got acquired, chances are, like, I would say that you have a better chance than not that you will not be working at Onum in 12 months, right? A lot of these companies get acquired and then there's redundancy in staff. They're buying the solution. They're not buying the people. I'm not saying definitively you're going to get fired, but just there's a trend, right? It happens. I will say though, if you look at like Google's acquisition of Mandiant was kind of left to stand alone and do their things. I don't know if Mandiant had a big exodus, but usually when it's tech stacks, like Mandiant's more of a service provider, less of a tech solution. And if you've worked at a tech company that got acquired, please weigh in on your thoughts. I'm basing my statement on comments that Bryson Bort made when he was a guest on Simply Cyber Firesides. He's seen it multiple times, so I believe him. All right, everybody, what do we got going here? You know that sound. We're about, it's 9 o'clock. Somebody call. Wait, Nick Barker. We nailed it right on time. Before we get into jawjacking, I want to remind everybody that on Tuesday, so after the long weekend, so you want to jump on this ASAP, we have the next community practical cyber workshop. If you don't know what this is, we at Simply Cyber Academy have been offering 1 hour free community workshops almost every single week. Michelle Khan did one on OSINT just recently. Next week is one on adversarial mapping. So if you want to pick up a cyber threat intelligence capability, the goal of these workshops is it's 1 hour long and you leave with a new skill. So it's very impactful. We're not effing around up in here. This is an initiative that I've been super geeked up about and trying to push. You can register for free. You do have to register though. You get a CPE, you get a certificate of completion. So let's see. Go ahead and get that. I'll link it or I pin it. At 9:30, the bottom of the hour, we're going to raid over on James O'Quigan, Simply Secured, where he's interviewing Fleetus Post, and this is the final episode of Season 1 of Simply Secured. So we definitely want to support James. Love his show. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the living crap out of this. If you got to boogie out of here, well, then boogie on out. Have a great 3-day weekend. If you do have to work this weekend, I'm sorry, but I wish you the very best, and I hope you get a different day off for the holiday. Until next time, stay secure. Don't go anywhere. We got Jawjacking coming up in just a minute. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Jawjacking. I am your moderator, because on Fridays we do panels of Jawjacking. If you have any questions around cybersecurity, career, industry, news stories, tips, techniques, resources, where to go, what not to do, who sucks, who's awesome, what's cool, what's not, GRC, blue, red, purple, orange, whatever it is, drop them in chat. This is for you. Let's go ahead and bring our panelists in. We have Eric Taylor's camera's off, so I won't bring you on, but we do have San Diego's on, getting up early. Wade Wells, how you doing, Wade?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'm good. Can you hear me? No? My audio
No, I can hear you just fine. Okay. Eric was doing that. As always, we will bring some panelists on. I'm not going to force any women onto the stream. I'm not really into forcing women to do things. But I will say, ladies, if you would like some representation, we're always open to panelists here on that. What's going on, Wade, man?
I have tried to recruit several women that I know from like the local cybersecurity scene here in San Diego to get on, who are avid watchers, by the way.
Oh, Daily Cyber Threat Brief?
Yeah, they're lurkers. And they kept giving me the runaround, so...
All right. Hey, let me drop a couple things on you guys before we get into it. I have two things I want to share with you. One is like a fun story, and then one is an amazing opportunity that I need to crowdsource for, and I'd love your thoughts too, Wade. Okay. So number one, yesterday I had to take an Uber to the Citadel campus because my truck has got a coolant problem. Okay. I do the Uber's out front of my house. I boogie out of here. Daniel Lowry takes over Jawjacking. I hop in the car. Driver drives. His name is Giovanni. Okay. I'm on my phone, like, making sure the stream's working. Everything's good. He doesn't speak to me at all. I'm kind of new to Uber too. So like, there's different like social protocols I'm still trying to figure out. We're about halfway to campus and I look up and he's got this huge display. Like it almost looks like a monitor that he mounted on his dashboard. And it's got like everything going on. Like his Uber route, his email. It's basically a full display. And on the top left, he's got Spotify with the thing. And there is a retrowave band that's not super well known called Calyx, K-A-L-A-X. And it's paused on Calyx. And I'm like, paused, huh? And I'm like, hey, are you listening to Calyx? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had paused, and he turns the volume down, and the volume was at 0. And he's like confused because like the music's not there. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, do you like Calyx? And he's like, yeah. And then I'm not joking you. I go, do you like the Midnight? And his eyes go to the rearview mirror, and we like have a moment, and he's like, yes. And then he pulls down his finger, and the screen changes, and it's like a Midnight homage. And he hits a button, turns the volume up, and he and I just absolutely rock out all the way to campus to the Midnight. And I was like, dude, I need to call an Uber next week too. Like, how do we make this happen? He's like, register it like between 2 to 3 the day before. I'll be looking for it. I'll get you. We'll do this again. I'm like, yes. Like, I might even sit in the front seat because I like this guy so much. So that happened over the yesterday. So let me crowdsource something, Wade and team. This is definitely a hashtag Team SC question for you guys. So Simply CyberCon, which is a nonprofit, separate, but it's our community conference. I had a call with ThreatLocker yesterday about sponsoring. They are going to sponsor. They're all in on it. We haven't talked numbers, but I'm not worried about it. They're going to sponsor. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, we'll get the table and the pop-ups and all that crap. We love that. But the way the event's going to be set up this year, we're going to have track 1, track 2, and then a third room that's like the chill out room with like Mario Kart and pop-up workshops. Like James McQuiggan's going to do a pop-up workshop and couches and lock picks. It's like the room I want everybody to hang out in, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, and so ThreatLocker said, we'd love to have something in that room that's like really community focused and like, yes, like ThreatLocker logo on it, but like, it's not like a ThreatLocker demo. It's like something that she said, like, what kind of ideas do you have? Now, my initial thought, and this is just to kind of get the wheels turning, is what if we could do something that's like a photo booth or like the 360 photo thing, but it automatically posts somewhere and has a hashtag, which would then be like this ongoing fun thing, but also people watching virtual, people watching on stream could also participate by doing the things and being able to get into that feed. And then we truly have a community of on-site and virtual doing things. That's just an idea. It could be anything. It could be a Mario Kart party. It could be a big info board. It doesn't matter. But I'm curious what people think. And just don't let money constrain you, right? Like, not that we're going to have like a gold fountain or something, but I would really be curious. Wade, have you seen anything? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, those definitely exist where they'll automatically post it on, right? And honestly, the spinning one is pretty cool where it like spins around you and you do it with someone else and strike a pose. I think it sounds like a cool idea. If anything, so you could make one. I made a photo booth for like $100 for my 10-year high school reunion, which was almost 10 years ago, out of a Raspberry Pi. And it would email, you would go up to it, you'd have it take your picture, you'd have a countdown, it'd then email you it, and then throw it in a Google Drive for me. And then I sent them off to everyone. So if you want to go even cheaper, you can.
Yeah, and again, like this isn't like, I mean, not again, they're not going to give.
Yeah,
you
I know, I get you.
But I'm just looking for ideas that are fun, and we can invent something, right? Like, we could invent a whole new thing. So, anyways, drop those things in chat. Wade, how you doing? I was pushing thrunting, although I will say some people were like, "What's thrunting?" So I really don't want to use that term. I do hate it.
If you use thrunting, I'm using smishing or whatever the one you hate.
Oh, yeah, quishing.
Quishing, there you go.
Quishing, I really hate quishing. I do. So if you got any questions, drop them in chat with a Q up front. Kathy Chambers with the first question asking, how did training go? So for those who don't know, Wade Wells did a training at Blue Team Summit yesterday.
Yeah, it went really well. We went from 6 a.m. to around 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it was a good time. I had a bunch of people in there that I knew. I took a play out of your playbook, Jerry. I am now teaching at a local university, at a national university, and I actually had a couple of my students from my class there join me
Nice,
in my Intel class, which was fun. It's always good when people talk and question me on stuff. We had a really good time doing threat modeling as always. Since the last time I gave the class to you, I have changed some of it where the threat modeling used to be around Jaws. Now it's around Jurassic Park. So people like it. Was that one?
It was Jurassic Park. I think that may have been like the pilot.
You may have been the pilot Jurassic Park. It's gotten down to the T now. I've got we all do Jurassic Park together, and then I give out the assignment to do threat modeling. It's pretty fun.
Oh, I love it. Well, there you go. Okay, so Escol07's asking for a Patriots prediction. Oh boy, so I am a Patriots fan. I think we'll just get at 500 there, maybe 8-9, 9-8. Hope for a playoff wild card game, perhaps. Wade, are you into sports at all? Follow any sport team?
Not really. I know how to play them all. I've played most of them. I'll go watch them. I understand how it works, but I don't have a team that I root for. I don't know. I've just never have. I did play fantasy football a couple times, and that made it a lot more fun. And I've won a couple times, which is always nice.
That definitely makes it fun.
Yeah, it was just me looking at statistics all day and then just taking whoever was on the roster right before anybody else could.
All right. So Eric Taylor's going to be coming in really quick. Let's bring Eric in. I do have. What's up, Eric? How you doing, buddy?
What's going on?
Nothing. Let me fix something on my audio. I was screwing around with something.
You seen what I sent you?
Well, hold on. I just turned everything off because I turned some things off. I had to record a. Does it sound better now?
No, you sound really low now.
Okay.
So whatever you did, reverse that.
It's not Simply Cyber without audio problems.
How's that?
Control-
Is that better?
No, Control Z or something, please.
All right. Well, let's do this.
I have a crazy story about yesterday while doing podcasting.
Yeah.
I had someone go around my front door, and then started trying to get into my backyard while doing an episode of Simply Defensive.
Oh my God! Were they like a crackhead or something, or?
That's what I assumed. They may have been a salesperson, but I went out there and I'm like, dude, why are you looking in my backyard? And he's like, oh, I thought I know someone who lives here. And I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm like, you can get out of here. And he's like, all right. And then I was like, am I going to call it the non-emergency line about this? And then he disappeared. So
he's like, I'm just looking to get chopped and screwed on that lean.
Yeah, right. There's definitely going to be an episode of Simply Defensive where I'm gone. So
you're defending your backyard from all predators.
Yeah.
All right, we got some questions coming in. I do see a super chat from FedEx who says, I
already know.
Big shout out to Mrs. Castro for putting up with me crazy ideas. Happy anniversary weekend, 18 years for FedEx.
Wow, congratulations, FedEx.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to yell at me for not sending him his hat still.
Oh my God. So question from Mickey, question from your masterclass, okay? For the modern type of risk assessment, when determining the risks, like a ransomware attack, who's typically going to be present for such an assessment? Well, if you're assessing the risk of a ransomware attack, you want to know the likelihood and the impact. That's how you're kind of qualifying it. So you're actually going to interview kind of multiple people if you're doing a focused enterprise risk, not an enterprise risk assessment, a ransomware type attack. So you'd be talking to IT as far as what controls are in place from an IT perspective. You'd be talking to general counsel or the legal team or whatever around what is the response plan? How are you going to handle these things? Because remember, you're not just trying to prevent a ransomware attack. Surely you want to prevent it. But when it does happen, how bad is it? How impactful is it? How long does it take you to get back up and running? Because that's also part of the risk calculation. Because if you're losing $1 million a day, you know what I mean? If you're going to be down 10 days, that's $10 million. That might actually break your whole business. But if you're down 2 days because you have good resiliency in place and ability to back up and all these other things, then it's less financially impactful. So you do have to kind of talk to all the people. I would almost make it easy for you to think through it this way. Think of okay, we suffer, someone tries to attack us in a ransomware capacity, right? It's a phishing email to download some type of archive that you open up and it detonates. what stops it from detonating successfully at that point? Like, go through the kill chain. Like, what stops it there? Is it your email security gateway? What are your controls? You have to ask the questions like, what is in place to prevent this? Then, okay, so it successfully runs. Do we have EDR solutions in place? Are they updated? Are they maintained? Like, questions like that. You guys want to contribute? Because I know Eric Taylor, you actually work active ransomware incidents. So you're dealing with one where they clearly didn't do a risk assessment very well initially. Any thoughts on best practices you've seen around trying to assess their ability to prevent and minimize the damage from a ransomware attack? So
this is a very nuanced question that you really need to take a step back. Okay. You need to do a downtime assessment. You need to do a risk assessment overall. So take ransomware out of the situation and just say, yo, if server Michael or whatever you're naming your servers went down, what is the impact to the organization? How long does it take to get back? Let's just say you had a power surge and this data closet is now no longer functional and you need to spin up in one of your other locations, right? How long does it take to download the data from the cloud? What is the restoration time? And that's when you can start getting to more nuance. You got to look at disaster recovery as a whole and go through those scenarios before you can really narrow down on ransomware, because these other questions will dictate, like, this is how much you're going to lose because this server is down. These other servers are dependent on it, or that server is dependent on these other servers. Doing a full disaster recovery mock-up and scenario will answer your ransomware question.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hopefully that answers your question, Wade. Thank you very much. Wade, question from Cyber Risk Witch. What initially drew you into cyber?
I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
All right. Hood rat stuff with his friends.
I've always been someone who likes to bend the rules as much as possible. And then I've had a computer since I was 5 years old. I learned how to spell Windows in an MS-DOS prompt.
Yep.
That's a true story. It was I also wanted to go into law enforcement one time, but I didn't want to do a lot of work. So I was like, you know what? Computers is basically the same that. So it meets all these cool criterias. It's fun. I get to break rules and I get to protect people. So
is that why you have the law enforcement mustache? Just a harken back?
Dude, you got the detective policeman stash.
I get asked so much if I'm a cop or if I'm in the military, especially here in San Diego. I've thought about shaving it off just to stop that.
Yeah. Hey, so we've got another panelist coming on, first time panelist. So please welcome
the man, the legend.
Yeah, the man, the legend. I'll bring him on in a second, but squad members, drop the John McClane emote, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, blue teamer, Ryan Chapman. Hey, Ryan, how are you, buddy? Are we frozen? Oh, there we are.
No, there you go.
Oh,
your audio.
No audio. Welcome to post-COVID. You're muted right now, bro.
Hardware mute.
Nope. Still don't got you.
There you go.
There you go.
Your audio is massively delayed. Are you remember that conversation you had with me not too long ago about different browsers and having problems with other streaming? Are you on one of those problematic browsers?
No, but I'll be right back.
Oh, wait. You finally caught up. You're good.
All right. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, this is Ryan Chapman. Ryan is a blue teamer, loves cybersecurity, definitely been in the game for a long time. Ryan, just as kind of a softball to get you warmed up here, what got you into cybersecurity?
Long story short, back when I was in junior high, I was working on, if you remember AOL and tools like that for AOL on the Windows side. On the Macintosh side, we had a system called OneClick, and it was a palette editor, and it had its own scripting language. So we would build our little, scripting shenanigans in OneClick. I spent over 6 months creating one, and I poured my heart and soul into it. And I actually sent it over to a buddy of mine who I thought was a buddy of mine. to help me with it. And when he sent it back to me, I then released it. And it was all this time and effort. And I was so excited. Like, yes, look at this. Look at everyone. Look how cool this is. He's like, yay. And it had a virus in it. So it was called a WinDef virus back in the Mac days when people thought viruses didn't even exist, on Macs. We're talking classic Mac OS 8, maybe 9 at this point. And yeah, so everyone basically thought that I was purposely distributing a virus. And the whole thing just went down as don't trust this particular guy. Don't ever touch his tool. He's worthless. He's a bad person. And I was like, wow, that absolutely sucked. And that was kind of the starting point where I realized to myself, well, I should start taking security and viruses and malware. I don't even know if I knew the word malware back then. And seriously. And ever since then, it just kind of took off.
Nice. So it was a course correction for your brand management. You had to refocus who you were. I like it. Okay, thanks for the question, Cyber Risk Witch. A question came in. This is kind of a straight shooter one. I haven't really worked with infrastructure as code, but Soulshine wants to know where they can learn Terraform. Ryan, have you worked with Terraform or any kind of I think Terraform is like DevOps to build infrastructure up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any guidance on Terraform?
Well, I don't know. I didn't chat with you before about shilling products.
Yeah, I mean.
So full transparency here. I am a former course author for the website I'm about to mention. But there's a Pluralsight. Pluralsight.com is a monthly membership site where you pay X amount of dollars and you get access to all their library of content. They have a ton of Terraform classes there, and that's actually where I learned to use it. So that's why I threw it out there. Terraform is essentially you put together a bunch of Terraform configuration files, and it can assist with creating an entire environment for you. So in my SANS course, we needed to build a range. And in order to build that range, we had a bunch of AMI images, and then we would have Terraform basically load them in, and then tell Terraform, oh, by the way, run all these commands as soon as the sucker gets spun up, such that the lab would basically be exactly how we needed it, to be configured. And we had to have it. We needed a repeatably. What's the word I want? We needed to repeat the process. Let's go with that of creating that range. So we build the range, carry out an attack, destroy the range, build the range again, carry out the attack. So, many of us who sit there with like VMs and a hypervisor or whatever, you spin it up, you configure it, then you take a snapshot, and then you do stupid stuff, and then you undo the snap. No, we would just literally like greenfield that sucker. So Terraform, I learned it on Pluralsight. What about you folks?
Yeah, Wade, you got any experience with it?
Yeah, I've had to use Terraform in my current employer for some detection as code work, which was actually pretty cool. I didn't have to write Python. I could just use Terraform, but I Googled the heck and I didn't have any pure site that I would say, but it was cool, right? I'm really big into the infrastructure as code stuff nowadays, especially for lab environments.
There you go. I like it. Okay, so Silence Poet says, hold on, let's go on stream here. Silence Poet says, got my first 2 weeks in GRC in the books, and I want to look into getting better understanding of application assessments. Any advice? For me, regardless of what the application is, there's a lot of standard practices. Like, how is authentication handled? What does the network connections look like? Is it got listening services? Does it reach back out? Does the vendor remote into it? So access and network controls are kind of where I go. Wade, as a detection engineer, I'm curious, I worked at a medical university, and there's thousands and thousands of applications all over the place. Some of them are super specialized. Some of them are generic kind of business ones. When you're looking at logging, I feel like we log a lot of Windows machines and servers and stuff, but the application, I guess we lost Ryan.
Well, he'll be back in a second. He's changing browsers.
Oh, right on. Do you do any logging on the applications, or what are your thoughts when you're thinking about applications in your environment?
A lot of it is going to be based on criticality, what kind of risk, right? Going back to more to GRC, do I need with those? What kind of detections can I build? And then are the logs even viable to build detections off of, right? Mm-hmm. So not everything that logs is actually valuable. Then with those particular products, if they're not valuable and if I can create some type of logs another way. So I would say, especially for medical devices, right? They're not always going to be, you're not going to be able to get logs from most of them. You're going to want to use network logs, some type of either like IDS, IPS system in line to look for signatures that way and grab those. But that's a big part of my current job right now is log evaluation and then trying to bring every log that's valuable into a platform.
Yeah. And also worth noting too, like a lot of times, Silence Poet, you can get, like if you can get into procurement, you can find out about these applications before they get acquired and kind of do an assessment of them. Unfortunately, because of SaaS products and like quick, hold on.
Sorry, my fault.
Yep. And the how cheap it is, like $20 a month, you can bypass procurement and just put it on your own credit card to try it out. And you end up getting like a lot of like sprawl, application sprawl because of that, which totally sucks. And
one thing I want to mention, because Wade kind of hinted on something that people need to be aware of, especially when you're diving into application logs. There's no uniform logging mechanism.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
So you may have to be recoding a lot of stuff depending on what logs you're trying to ingest. So
right, a bunch of different like SOAR automation tools can help you bring in logs, or what FluentD, or what's the other Cribble, right? All these different ways to also get them, and then the format of them always sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So you then have to figure out how they're formatted and possibly get it into OCSF type of stuff.
Have you found? I feel like this is like a perfect utility of generative AI. Like, hey, here's what the log looks like. I need it in this format. Give me a like a transcriber.
I have not used it to translate. I've asked it for like, tell me what you think stuff is, but I don't trust it. Well, it does really good regex, which is mainly what I'm going to be using to retransform those logs, right? But usually not. Most of the time, most SEM platforms can do it for you, to tell you the truth, or like
all right.
stuff.
Well, I know you're a big Splunk fanboy, so
yeah.
I'm sure Splunk can. All right, hey
that's what
Ryan.
parsers are built for too, right?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Ryan, Scole07, this is more meta. He says, do you guys have any tips on hold on, I'm trying to bring it up, on learning one skill at a time? This is something that we see a lot of younger people, or not younger, more junior to industry people suffer with. And I guess maybe Ryan self admits. What are your chances to keep people from basically chasing the shiny keys, the jangling keys?
Yeah, I might not love my answer. So for me, when I'm looking something up, I can't stand. Let's just say you're going through an article and it's like 5 things, right? I don't know if that was 5 bups, but you get the idea. And on number 3, it's like, go run this tool real quick, sudo apt install, and then and you're like, wait, well, what does that do? Like, well, what's that library, and how do I use that? And you look that up, and that says, oh, this has library dependencies for these guys. And you're like, well, what's that guy do? And then you start down this rabbit hole. What I do for myself is I make an ongoing list as I'm going of the things that I want to follow up on. And if I allow myself to do those in real time, I'll usually never get that project done. So for me, whether you're taking a training class, reading a simple article online, or just you've Googled something like how to implement blah, right? How to install Bloodhound. Sure. And then you see it use the Neo4j database. And you're like, well, what's that? Right? Rather than going to Google and be like, Neo4 database, all about, going to the GitHub repo for that and all that. Just make a list and set that over to the side. And hopefully you don't have an everlasting, never-ending list like I do of things I want to follow up and read, but you probably will. So then I try to prioritize those and I try to categorize those. So I am a bit obsessive compulsive, if you can't already tell. And I might have a to-do Google sheet that is tabbed and categorized and prioritized on a scale of 1 to 5. And then I have another item in there that I associate with projects or potential projects should I learn those things. So a good example right now is I'm actually reading through Kyle Gucci's book, Evasive Malware from No Starch Press.
Yeah.
And so far, amazing resource. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
But as I'm going through it, I've been doing malware for 12 years now. I teach reverse engineering for SANS. I'm supposed to be a malware guy. Well, there's a ton of stuff in here that I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So I literally have a little section in my, to do, to learn called malware. And then in there, I have, like, by the way, about process doppelganging, about process hollowing, of course. But what about this new one? And I know that if I deviate from the book and I go, well, he talked about these two, but it references third one. So I put it in my sheet. So categorize, prioritize, and associate with projects, or for that matter, a day-to-day work thing potentially, or whatnot. So that's how I do it.
Awesome. Great idea. Great practice. It definitely is the best of both worlds because you get to continue to follow up, but you don't get derailed and never really go anywhere. I want to remind everybody, we're going to be going to Simply Secured, which starts momentarily. This is James McQuiggan's show. He's interviewing Fleetest Post. And so this is very much Simply Cyber on Simply Cyber, very hot action. We're going to do that. I do want to say thank you very much to our, hold on, let me hide this. I want to say very much thank you to our panelist, Ryan, joining us for the first time. I hope you had a good experience, Ryan. Wade Wells, always jumping in here from San Diego. Thanks for getting up early, Wade.
Yeah, no worries. I'm still tired.
All right, guys. I have pinned the podcast on the YouTube chat, so jump in there. We'll see you. If you got to go, no show on Monday. Otherwise, everybody have a good one. And until next time, stay secure.